and welcome to another episode of Epic Geek Out, the only show on the internet where we deliver our Oscar trophies in a trash can. Sesame Street
get it.
Joke. I'm your host, Chad.
I'm your host, Rob, and today we're going to be doing a little recap of the Oscars, just talking about some surprises, just the overall experience of the night.
And on Thursday, we're looping back to some more movies with our review of Dark Skies.
Which also on Thursday is our 1-year anniversary of doing this show. So,
Crazy.
Thanks, and we'll get into that there, but...
Yeah, as always, you can follow us over at Twitter at Epic Geek Out. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/epicgeekout, and also check out the website, www.epicgeekout.com. But let's roll out that red carpet and talk about the Oscars.
So you're watching this on Tuesday, but Sunday night was the Oscars, the Academy Awards for the big movie event of the year.
Tribute to musicals.
Well, not musicals. It was tribute to movie music.
Okay, whatever. But they
play. It was cool. It's a yearly event. They recap and give out awards for the best in film and cinema. And if you're like us, you probably didn't want to watch the whole 2.5 hours. We didn't even. Did you watch the whole thing? I didn't watch the whole thing.
I caught most of it. I actually was coming from my parents' house to my apartment, so there was a little.
Missed
break in
stuff.
it, but I was following actually on my phone, which you shouldn't do. It was only at red lights.
Nice.
And then, it was hard with also The Walking Dead on.
Right, I didn't even catch that yet.
I caught the 11 o'clock show for that. So.
Yeah, so we're going to recap it for you, just kind of go through the winners, kind of give you our surprises that we had and whatnot. But first I wanted to talk a little bit about, and you probably missed this, but Seth MacFarlane as a host. Did you catch his beginning portion?
I caught the dancing portion in the beginning, and now I'm reading the controversy of his kind of sexist humor that was
we saw
presented.
Your boobs.
Yeah,
I thought that was hysterical. I think his opener was the best part of it, and then kind of went downhill because a lot of his jokes at other points were a little off color to me.
Yeah, and it was also the funniest parts were like when he would actually say, "Oh, we're doing this joke. I thought we cut it."
He said that many times.
Yeah, a lot of times, and things along those lines.
Ben Affleck seemed very pissed off, too.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into some recaps. We'll end with Best Picture. Let's go down through a couple of these. We can blow through some of these pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
Best Actress, Anne Hathaway, everyone knew that was happening. They even made a joke about that in the opening.
Well, hold on.
Okay,
let's go from the end and then kind of go through. So we got writing original screenplay was Django Unchained.
Yeah,
awesome writing.
That was one of my picks. I did a family pool beforehand, and that was one of my picks.
Yep, writing adapted screenplay, Argo.
Yep, called that.
For that, I would have actually liked Life of Pi just because it was adapted from a book. And like the fact that they were able to adapt it to screen. As a screenplay for me would have been a little bit better just because it was they didn't think that they would be able to do it. But
I can see that.
I love that.
I think though Argo had to be given something else. I mean, a lot of times Best Director also wins Best Picture, but for everyone who doesn't realize, Ben Affleck wasn't even nominated for Best Director because they put out their they put out their nominations earlier this year. So that was kind of a snafu. So I think Argo picked up some steam in other places.
Yeah, definitely. I see that. Visual effects, Life of Pi. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping the Avengers one just because it was the only thing.
How about the controversy about the visual effects? Did you see anything
in
regards to that? So there was a protest outside by visual effects studios.
This is what Greenspan thing
and one of the studios that is actually making major cutbacks is the studio that won for Life of Pi. And
interesting.
They're really trying to kind of not give the due to the visual effects artists that work on the movies and stuff like that. So it's really interesting. Slash Film had some good links to articles written about that, so I'd say check that out.
Very cool. Pretty
interesting stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping Avengers just because it didn't get nominated for anything else. But that's all right. Sound mixing, Les Miserables. Since they sang it live, I guess they had good mixing. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll do it live.
Sound editing
was a tie.
It was a tie, which is odd. Skyfall and Zero Dark 30.
Which Zero Dark 30 was my pick, and I definitely wanted that to win. The sound in that movie, just like in Hurt Locker, put you in it. And also, most of the sound people that won awards look like scary villains.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Zero Dark 30 sounded like real gunshots. Skyfall, all right, I guess, but nothing stood out to me in that. So.
Yeah, I'm happy Zero Dark 30 actually won that.
All right, short film, live action, Curfew. I didn't see any of these, did you?
No, unfortunately.
Curfew actually looked pretty interesting from the preview that they showed. Short film, animated, Paperman, loved it. That's the only one I saw, but loved it.
I actually didn't realize that was the one I saw and went with fresh guacamole because I just love guacamole. Nice. You don't see things, you go with names.
Nice.
But that
that's showed before Brave, so the Pixar, obviously. Awesome. Production design, Lincoln.
Yeah.
I was hoping for something more like either Les Mis or Hobbit, just because it was a bigger scaled film.
Yeah,
so for me,
I do like Lincoln though. I mean, it definitely did feel, I think costume
for that, but didn't get that. Music original song, awesome. Skyfall, love that.
Yeah, Adele deserves that.
Definitely, even though I hate Adele, jerk. Music original score, Life of Pi.
I don't remember the music being amazing in that movie, or
I would have liked Skyfall, just because they did manage to bring in some of the Bond themes
from the older. Yeah, and I agree completely with that. But also, the Oscars did a tribute to Bond's 50 years.
Yeah, it was cool. Goldfinger, she sang. It was cool. Very cool. We're just plowing through these, but we're going to have more discussion on the bigger ones here. Makeup and hairstyling, Les Mis.
Who cares?
Whatever. Foreign language film, Amour, I didn't see. Did you end up seeing it?
I didn't see it. I couldn't find it. It wasn't released on DVD yet or on demand or anything like that. But, I mean, obviously when a foreign language, gets nominated for Best Picture and is also in that category, they're kind of going to win.
Yeah. Film editing, Argo.
As
far as editing, I mean, none of these.
I like the way it was put together.
None of these really, to me, stood out as a real crazy editing.
Because there's not many quick edits or quick cuts. I don't remember the list off.
I'm actually surprised Django wasn't nominated there, just because he has such a distinct editing style. But documentary shorts, Innocent. Or Incente, I guess it's
Innocent. I'm not sure, but the cool thing about that is the first Kickstarter campaign
very cool.
ever won an
Oscar. The next thing, documentary feature that won, Searching for Sugar Man, was the first film to actually have part of it shot with an iPhone.
That's cool.
Really
and
cool.
I do want to see that. That has gotten great reviews.
Yeah, because he actually ran out of money for the film, so he had to use his iPhone. So it's pretty incredible. Directing, Life of Pi. This was
out of the main categories the only one that I was not able to guess correctly. Some were a given, but this one I went with David O. Russell for Silver Linings, just because when all four of your actors get nominated for their respective category, I thought that it was going to take it for that. But I could see it.
The other nominees for that were Amour, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Lincoln, and Silver Linings Playbook. I was actually pulling for Spielberg on this one, but because he makes great films, but he's been recognized before. Ang Lee did a great job, but someone said this morning on the radio that, Life of Pi, he directed one singular person and CG. Like the other Lincoln was more of a cast of characters and whatnot. So.
And I agree, Life of Pi should have gotten it for the visual effects because it was mind blowing, but they did have to put some stuff together. And he looked animal feel real. The tiger feel real.
Yeah, I didn't see him actually win this, but he looked genuinely happy for every single person from his team that won, like visual effects.
Yeah.
So he seems like a good guy. So whatever.
Yeah, he ruined my picks by winning, so I'm better.
Costume design, Anna Karenina.
That's good. I haven't seen it, but
haven't seen it
for them.
Lincoln would have been good here. I was kind of pulling for because awesome costume design. Yeah. But, that is what it is. Cinematography, also Life of Pi. For that, I could see that a little bit more than directing, but awesome. Animated feature film, Brave. I was actually kind of pulling for Wreck-It Ralph here.
I was pulling for Wreck-It Ralph, but Brave was actually my pick. It's Pixar.
It's Pixar, but it's not the best Pixar movie.
Oh, no, it's not. So, Wreck-It Ralph was tremendous. It might have been a little too niche for and really it spoke to us. We're not Oscar voters or, we're not part of the Academy, so... but I really wanted to see Wreck-It Ralph win. And I thought Paranorman might have an upset there just because it was so creative and so unique. And
it's a different animation style, for sure.
But Pixar,
all right.
They're the juggernaut.
Actress in a supporting role, Anne Hathaway. She was awesome. The only thing here that, it is a supporting role, mind you, but it was she had such a small part in Les Mis. So,
she did.
But it was. I think she won because of this song, to be honest.
Yeah, and that is why she. But that was he even had the sketch about it, which was funny with Sally Fields. But the other part of the Oscars that was great was when the whole cast of Les Mis came out and sang.
I missed that. That was
tremendous. It was so well done.
That's really cool.
You have to see it. It was the best part, the best moment of the Oscars. And
so Anne Hathaway, she's good.
Yeah.
Actor in supporting role, Christoph Waltz. I was actually pulling for De Niro here, but
I picked
Christoph Waltz is amazing. So good.
Yeah, and he owes a lot to Quentin. He won before for Inglourious Bastards.
That's
actually,
true.
It was interesting. Everyone in that category has won or been nominated before.
I
thought that was a really,
pretty awesome,
really interesting thing.
Yeah.
So
Actually, when we were going through, when I was watching the nominees, it was like Robert De Niro. I was like, I want him to win. But then I was like, Christoph Waltz is good too. So the fact that he won,
you can't be
I'm
mad.
upset about it, but
I'm happy someone from Silver Linings did.
Definitely
take something home.
So next up, we have actress in a leading role. The nominees here: Jessica Chastain, Zero Dark 30, Jennifer Lawrence, Silver Linings Playbook, Emmanuel Riva from Amour, and some crazy name, Quenvenzhane Wallace. That was the best attempt that I think I could do. From Beasts of the Southern Wild, the youngest nominee, I think they said,
ever.
9 years old.
Who is going to be playing Annie in the new Annie remake. That was just confirmed.
Very interesting. Naomi Watts, The Impossible. Jennifer Lawrence obviously won this. I love her, so
she's
I'm
great.
all on board
and
with that.
What's great, I'm happy some Silver Linings took something with 4 actors nominated. It's nice, and I besides her fall, which she handled it so well.
She fell on the...
She fell walking up,
that's great.
But handled it so well, and then after in the press, just handled it brilliantly. But they shot some scenes at the Lanark, which is my diner growing up, and I went past it last night, and they had an Oscar party with news trucks outside.
So cool.
That was awesome. Cool. That was such a cool thing to see.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And then actor in a leading role, Bradley Cooper from Silver Linings Playbook, Daniel Day-Lewis from Lincoln, Hugh Jackman, Les Mis, Joaquin Phoenix from The Master, and Denzel Washington, Flight. All really awesome actors. Daniel Day-Lewis, the obvious choice here. I think everyone kind of suspected that. It helps that he looks like Lincoln to begin with. So he did an amazing job. So
transformative. It was just an incredible performance all around, and he was given the script to kind of do it. He had the ability to act for that. I was surprised The Master was. I haven't seen it yet. It's on my to-watch list, but I'm surprised that didn't get nominated in the extended best category, because I remember watching the TRS review of that and people, saying there's no way Joaquin Phoenix isn't going to win this year, and then Lincoln happened and stuff like that. So
he's actually the second actor to be nominated for playing Lincoln.
Yeah,
which is very cool. All right, and then Best Picture, finally, lots of nominees: Amour, Argo, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Django Unchained, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, Zero Dark 30. My favorite movie last year, Argo, which won. Obviously, I think there was a lot of buzz going into it that this was going to win. Les Mis won the Best Musical or Comedy in the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
So, I was like, maybe, but Argo is just amazing. So.
Yeah, Argo, I'm really happy, for this. I wouldn't have minded Silver Linings taking it. It would have been a nice little kind of underdog story, which that movie kind of was in its own right. But Argo was great. I watched it another time. It's still intense. Rewatch it. I think the humor of that movie actually pops out a little more. Not in the crazy final scenes, but kind of when they're setting it up. And the juxtaposition of Hollywood and DC is incredible in that movie. So I'm happy for it.
And good
Ben Affleck was so gracious, and it was it was really. It was heartfelt, and I thought that was nice.
That's a really good point about the comedy. Is I remember the movie as being a thriller, but when you see previews for it, they do market it a little bit more as a comedy. And I'm like, oh yeah, it was really funny at parts, but that's not what you take away from it, I guess. Yeah. So that's cool that it could be
because you remember the last part of the movie, and that wasn't that didn't have comedy in it. That had.
So it's great that it can traverse many genres and whatnot.
Oh, definitely. And
so crazy year for movies, 2012. Overall, I think a lot of really good dramas that it was it was good because there was a lot of stuff that was I feel throughout the year for me flew under the radar commercially, but it's nice to see it get recognized. Like Argo, commercially did well, but it wasn't like the Avengers or something like that. It wasn't commercial, And
I've always watched a lot of movies, but by doing this podcast, we've been forced to see some ones that we wish we haven't seen. But it's been great, and with I love the movie going experience, and the Oscars is just a great time to celebrate that. And I like even seeing the award acceptance speeches from these people who did a short film, did something like that.
Yeah.
Because they're pioneers in their field, they deserve that time, and it's a shame that they played the Jaws music to get them off the stage. But you know, just to see people speak about their craft is just it's great. I really enjoyed that.
Awesome. So that's the Oscars. So it's time to give some thanks for some geek stuff. Rob, what's your thanks today?
So I am thankful for a podcast that I just discovered, and I am pumped for the return of Doctor Who. I can't wait. I really enjoyed the Christmas special, and I can't wait for it to get back. So I discovered this podcast. I think it's just called the Oodcast. It might be like Doctor Who,
cool.
the Oodcast. And it's delightfully British people talking about Doctor Who. It's perfect. Their accents make it incredible. And, you know, I've only listened to one episode, which is their recap of this past Christmas episode. But they, you know, I love the way they were talking about it. And, of course, they have so much more knowledge than, you know, I do as a newer fan. But it's great to hear them talk about it. They do these little kind of, I don't know, like skits in between, which, you know, actually were cracking me up, and just, like, you know, incorporating
Nice.
Characters and things like that. So, you know, for any Doctor Who fan, you know, I think they just do an episode per episode kind of thing, and maybe a couple every now and then. But definitely check that out. It's great. It's British people talking in their great old accents. I'm enjoying it.
Cool. So I'm going to thank a software/online mobile thing, I guess is the best way to describe it, because it's not really a software thing. It's called Spotify. It is almost like iTunes, but you can access pretty much every song ever and stream it. It's free with ads, like Pandora is similar to that, but you can also pay for a subscription and get it on your mobile device and whatnot. But the cool thing that I like about it is that you can create playlists and people can subscribe to them, or vice versa. You can subscribe to other people's playlists. So what's really cool is at my office, we do Music Fridays, and we come up with a theme, and we all contribute to the playlist. So like you get basically awesome playlists that you don't have to make, which is awesome, and you can kind of just share music with other people, and it's a really cool
Now, do you have
service.
to be logged in to Facebook for that?
I don't think Facebook specifically. You have to be logged into an account. But
Okay.
you can set up your account with Facebook.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's really cool. It's free for Windows and Mac. It has ads in it,
Nice.
or you can just pay, like, I think it's like $4.99 a month to get the mobile version, which is pretty cool. I've been using that now. I haven't even purchased or downloaded any music in a while, so that's what I've been doing.
That's impressive for him.
Yeah, I know, right? So we're going to be back on Thursday with our 1-year anniversary. We're going to be talking about Dark Skies, a scary movie about aliens. So make sure you check back for that. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.